Andy P here. Yes, I am still alive. I am still very much driving, and I thought I would do a little video for you because I've not done one for a while. And the main reason for that is because I've not really had a lot to talk about. I've talked about stuff before. I don't like to do weekly videos and updates about where I'm at and what I've done. Some of the guys give you that content and it's very useful content. I've not really had a lot to talk about. It's as simple as that. What I would say is, I'm going to go out on a limb here. If you don't already, and he's got enough subscribers anyway, but there's a reason for that. Go and check out Mr. Freddie Fletcher. James has been doing videos for quite a while now, but I just find that he just has a lot more to talk about, really. He has a lot more interesting stuff going on in his life than I do. But yeah, I've not really had a lot of content really to talk to you about, so that's why I've not done anything. But here's a little update of where we're at and what's going on with me. So first of all, I'll talk to you a little bit about this week. It's Wednesday today and we're on our way to Ross-on-Wye, and it is solar panels. I'm going down to see, or meeting the engineer. Got to be down there for 8 o'clock. It's nearly 6 o'clock now. We're well on our way down there. And this was a job that I picked up yesterday from a guy that rung me on Monday that I do a bit of work for. Done the, worked for this company a few times. Yeah, so it's good to get work booked in really and done. Yesterday I wasn't working. I wasn't working. So I was picking this up yesterday afternoon, and I did a little job from Manchester to Nelson, which is for another shipper that I do quite a bit of work for, and that's a job that actually comes out quite a bit from there. I've done it many a time. Excuse me, I actually rung him about it in the morning because I weren't working in the morning, which I'll tell you about in a minute, and because that was going over to Nelson and I had to pick up this in Chorley, I thought to myself, yeah, that'd be a nice little job just to get myself over that direction and then move over, so that's what I did. So yesterday morning, my daughter, it was her last day at school and she had a leavers assembly. It was really good, the school did her and her classmates really proud, very emotional. The wife was crying, but we went to that was for a couple of hours, so hence why I wasn't working yesterday morning. But like I said, I had this to pick up. I managed to get that little tiny job in yesterday, so we're earning some money. But we are on quite good money for the week, because on Monday I did a job for James, Mr. Freddie Fletcher, and I picked that up on Friday, and it was due to be dropped off at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. So I set off down and going down to Suffolk. It was a well-paying job anyway, and I got down there, rung the shipper. They told me they were half an hour away, not a problem. So 35 minutes later I get a phone call, I got a text saying 5 minutes away from you, not a problem. Then I got another text saying, can you pin me your location? So I sent that off. So after 45 minutes of waiting-ish, I got a phone call off the guy. Said, you're in Ipswich, aren't you? And I went, yes. He said, I'm in Oxford. Really? So I had to ring James then to find out what was going on. Thought it might have been just the wrong engineer being put on the job for the contact details. But James rung me back and he said, no, bring it back, Andy. So I had to take it all the way back up to Stockport, which was good for me because I got paid both ways for doing it. Bad for them. And basically what happened is that the job had been cancelled on the Friday evening. Well, obviously there's nobody in the office Friday evening, so that email didn't get picked up until about 9 o'clock on Monday morning. Whereas from my point of view, it was too late then. I was already on my way. I wasn't just on my way, I was actually there. So, yeah, that didn't work out. That's actually being re-delivered today. And Anvil Dave is actually doing that today for James. I couldn't do it because obviously I already had this job booked in for today. So, that's been the week so far. Decent run on Monday. Not working yesterday, but small job pick up for this. Going down to Ross on Wye today, and then obviously we'll be looking for work on the CX to get home, unless I get a phone call of somebody who wants to give me work to get back to Manchester. So CX, how is the CX for you guys at the moment? Because I'm finding it a bit of a pain in the backside at the moment. On days when I've not got anything booked in, which this week's one of them, days, you know what I mean, days and weeks, I find it really difficult to get out in the morning, really, really difficult. And I've said this before, I think because I live in Rochdale, I'm one side of Manchester, there's a lot of work comes out around Manchester, but to get to it in the morning, especially if it's the other side of Manchester, you're looking at an hour. Even some parts of Stockport can be up to an hour, depending on whereabouts it is. So it can be really difficult in the morning to get work. And then the other thing is just the bidding. The bidding has gone crazy. The days of getting 120 to 140 a mile for a long wheelbase van seem to have gone at the moment. If I'm bidding around that, then there is just absolutely no way I'm getting the work. Put on to that, like I said, trying to get to the other side of Manchester or something in the morning, there's a lot of other drivers around. I've not actually worked out how many drivers in my little bubble. It used to be, including me, bang on 100 drivers. And I bet it's about 20-30 drivers more than that now. So it's just a little bit about that supply and demand thing. I think there's more drivers and not as much work coming through. The bidding has become more difficult, and it's cheaper. Jobs are going a lot cheaper. Even doing small work, is difficult. And small work, as in local work, can be very good. If you can get a few jobs in a day, your pence per mile is much better, your profit margins. But if you get a job that's taking time to do, an hour job takes like 2 hours, it's when you can't make your money. So CX, yes, difficult at the moment, I would say. And as a platform, they're still trying to do things. They've introduced this smart player thing and stuff. They're trying to innovate and keep improving things. But I just think that the industry is struggling a little bit. I think businesses are trying to save money because of the cost of living and all that malarkey. Because you've got to remember, our gas and electric bills might have shot up, although they have come down a bit recently. But it has for businesses as well. And they wanted to keep costs down, I think, and that's why it's affected us. So CX, difficult at the moment. I do also believe that there tends to be a little bit of I just don't think shippers are fully trustworthy what kind of driver you're going to get, or if the job's going to be done correctly, and all the things that we've talked about previously on many a video around things like PPE and the equipment that you should have in your van and strapping it down and doing the job correctly and not co-loading and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of drivers on there now that just don't adhere to them rules, and I think there's a bit of trust gone out of it. I was speaking to the guy yesterday when I was loading these, and they used to use one of the bigger companies before they got to know me and won over the drivers that they give work to. And he said to me, he said, you just never know who you got. You know, and they just didn't feel that they wanted to trust them that well. So yeah, so what I would say is, actually, if you want to have a good driver, then probably better off going to a smaller shipper. Better off going to a smaller shipper who knows different people, different drivers that they can rely on. Because I think some of the smaller shippers are using the same drivers over and over again because they can trust them. James, Freddie Fletcher, you know, where he can now, he uses drivers that he knows and can trust, quite rightly, because he wants the work done correctly for his customers. There's a shipper that I work for quite a bit, and he rings me, you know, and gives me work on a regular basis, and that's because he's got to know me and he's got to trust me. He knows if there's an issue, I'll troubleshoot and try and sort it out for him. But more importantly, I'll get the job done on time, with quality to it. And I think that is a little bit of also what's happening in the industry. There's just maybe the quality's not there, the price is not there, and the trust is probably not there. But I'm sure you guys have all got your own thoughts around the CX, but that's my game. And probably the other thing that I wanted to mention to you is that I am approaching 3 years on the CX. So I like to think that I've got my hand in now. I've got to know a few people, got to know the job, got to know the little jobs that are good and the little ones that are bad, got to know where to go, you know, better areas to go to and all that kind of stuff. You know, you gain experience as you go along. It's getting to that point where insurance is due, so next month we'll start ringing around and trying to sort out insurance. Insurance this year that we're just coming up to has been really expensive for me. It's probably, well, it has been, it's moved my biggest outlay as a business by far, and I've been paying an extra £150 more than I was the previous year. So it's been a massive drain on the old resources this year. And this year actually, I'm more or less on par with last year in regards to take-ins. So, but most of my work's coming from people I know, people who ring me, people who's putting the work on, you know, throwing work my way basically. I do CX jobs. Every week I do CX jobs, so I do at least one. I do still use the platform in regards to invoicing, stuff like that. That's one thing I would say about the CX actually, you know, because sometimes you may look at your CX and look at how much you're paying for your subscription, and you think, well, I'm not even getting a lot of work through the CX. Well, you might not be, but just think of all the other things that you get with the CX. You know, all the invoices that I've got. There's only one company that invoices differently that I work with, but everyone else invoices through the CX, so that makes it nice and easy, doesn't it? But yes, 3 years approaching. How do I feel about everything? Okay, I would say. Not brilliant, because like I said, some days are difficult. But what I am happy about, very happy about, is, you know, there's people I've got to know who I consider friends now. The shippers I've got to know, who throw work my way. And the actual job, especially when it's a day like today, it's cloudy, but it's bright, it's nice, it's not too warm at the moment. It does make you feel good to be alive. Go to some very interesting places and deliver some very interesting stuff. Meet a lot of people out and about. So the job is still enjoyable. That's what I would say. And that's it personal level, I am still DJing, still working, so I've got another form of income. I've actually done a few other gigs over the last few months at different places, which has been a bit of an eye-opener, been a bit of experience for me, so that was quite enjoyable. And also potentially, me and my wife may be looking in to owning, well, not owning, running a pub. So my wife is a bit fed up in the job that she does at the moment, and it's quite physical what she does. And none of us are getting any younger, even though she's younger than me. I mean, she's 6 years younger than me. So we may at some point end up running a pub. Obviously I've been in and around it for quite a while with the DJing piece. It's not something that's imminent. I don't think it's not something that we're going to jump onto. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing at the moment. But subsequently I've got my qualification that I needed to get a personal license. I'm just in the process of getting my license actually now. I already had a DBS that I needed for this job. I got that in January. But to apply for a personal license, I've got to have a DBS dated within 28 days of the application. So I've had to get another one, which I did yesterday. That is available to see online now. Then they've posted it. But I'll get that in, and then I'll get all my stuff sent off, and hopefully I'll be a personal license holder. And if we don't end up having a pub or running a pub, the pub that I do work at DJing, it's something that'll help out there really. If the landlady's away or going on holiday or something, then it means that she's got someone on the premises that's got a license. So yeah, it's one of those little things. And the other thing is, more than anything, it's a qualification. You know, I had to do an online course for it. You've got to have an understanding of alcohol and all that malarkey. So from a personal point of view, I actually felt quite proud when my certificate came through. It's something that, you know, educates me. I suppose that's the way of saying it. Anywho, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Apologies, like I said, there has not been one for a while, but like I've also said, you know, there's only so much sometimes you can talk about. What I would say, if you do want to watch a channel, Freddie Fletcher, I can't believe I'm promoting you, because you've got no subscribers. Freddie Fletcher's videos are very good. He gives you some really good insights, and because he's a shipper as well as a driver, and because he has van issues, sorry mate, he's got a lot to talk about, but very informative. He's very good at finding different ways to put things across. He really good guy to watch. And the other guys that are out there, Anvil Dave, what a nice chap. Anvil Dave, go and check out his channel, Anvil Logistics. He's a guy that he'll let you know what he's up to and how he's getting on, and he'll give you more of a weekly review. You've got the Saintsman out there, he'll give you a really good in-depth video on how his week's been and what he's been up to. And then of course we can't forget our Scottish cousin, Mr. Neil, Mr. Neptune, who also, I've got to say, comes up with some very interesting videos and some things that we wouldn't even think about. But all the guys are fantastic boys, and you know what, when you sat and you're looking for something to do because you're waiting to bid on this EX, go and check out the guys. Anyhow, that's it for me. Hope you guys are all okay and you are having a fantastic year running on CX. Just remember, we're all in the same boat. If you're struggling at the moment, then keep with it, learn from your mistakes, and you'll have a great career driving. See you all soon.